In this video, I'm going to show you how to remove and replace a rear hub and bearing on a Chevy Malibu located in the rear suspension. Remove the tire is a 19mm socket. Going to remove the caliper from the knuckle, and there's two mounting bolts, one here, and then one inside, right down here. I'll put my ratchet on it, socket. Right there. And the head of the bolt is an 18mm, so we're going to go ahead and back those off, loosen those up. I'm going to loosen that top one. Now I can get my electric ratchet in there and speed this up. Now we'll get that bottom bolt out. Now you can just grab that caliper and firmly pull it out. Get it right off that rotor. So now we're going to take our caliper and set it aside. We just want to make sure it's clear and out of the way. Whether you use a bungee cord or something. Actually, that fits perfectly right back there. So now we're going to remove our rotor, and it's mounted with this little, it's like a holding screw, and it's a torque spin. It's a T30, and we're going to reuse that. It just keeps it snug up against that hub. Okay, now we can grab our rotor, set it aside. So now we're on the back side of the rear brake, and you can see the three mounting bolts. It's a triangle, one up there, and one down there. And they're all 18mm, so I'm going to take a 1/2-inch drive swivel socket and a 1/2-inch drive gun, and I'm going to remove these bolts. And then we have one on the bottom left. All right, so all three bolts are ready to come out. I just have to turn them a couple more turns on each one. Take this one. See if I can get my hands in there. It's not easy. Two. Sometimes you can wiggle this. You might have to tap it with a hammer to get the hub off. I'll set these aside because we have to reuse them. And then the last one's up over here. Okay. Now let's see if we can wiggle it off. The vacuum plate's going to come with it, and there we go. Now let's clean the actual knuckle. Just get the sand and dirt out. So it looks pretty clean. It looks in good shape, but you see the drain right here. I just like to get it all cleaned up so the new one will fit right in there. And I like to spray like a copper never sees so that there's no future problems with it sticking. Let's try that right out. And if you notice, the speed sensor does not need to come off for this design. It's mounted right here, and it goes to the back of the bearing. So usually some bearings, you have to take it off because it mounts in the center. So now I'm going to put some of that high temp never sees on there. Just give it a clear coat on the surface. It doesn't have to be caked or anything. And then I'm going to put a little bit right in here. Avoid that sensor. Don't get any on the sensor. You don't want to get an ABS code. So now we're going to put our backing plate, line it up like that. Grab one of our bolts, and we're going to put it in from the back side. I got this one started by hand already. I'm going to move on to the other two. And the bottom one. So now we've hand started all of our mounting bolts, and as you can see, I got new ones. The old ones were compromised. So the new ones on mine are 15mm. If you're reusing your old ones, that's still an 18mm socket. So we're going to just snug them up in a sequence like that. I don't want to over tighten them because we're going to torque them to factory spec. And that is one of the reasons why I had to redo it, because someone over-tightened the old ones. So the torque spec is 74 foot-pounds, and then an additional 15 to 30 degrees. So I'm going to torque them all first to the 74 foot-pounds, then we'll go from there. So like I said, the second step is 15 to 30 degrees. I'm going to set mine for 25, kind of right in the middle. Because the hub is brand new, I'm going to spray it with a little coating of like a Never See so that the rotor doesn't get stuck to it. It doesn't get all that gunk build up between it. Line up my mounting hole. See it right there. Then I'll grab that Torx bit. That's that T30. It's just a little screw, just a mounting screw. And then I'll snug that up. Now we can put our caliper back on. Just line up your brake pads on the surface of that rotor. So now we're going to take our caliper mounting bolt for that bracket to knuckle, center the bracket, and just start it by hand. You can feel that grab. That's perfect. So now we'll go to the bottom one, do the same down here. Now this one is kind of difficult because it's through the knuckle and all that. Start it by hand. So now with my 18mm socket extension, I'm going to use my electric ratchet just to snug it up before I torque it. So the torque specs for the caliper bracket to knuckle is 74 foot-pounds, 18mm socket. Mount your wheel, get your lug nuts, start them by hand. As you can see, there's 5 total. And when we tighten them, we're going to tighten them in a star pattern. It's a 19mm socket, and we're just going to bottom them out and then torque them to specs. The torque spec is 100 foot-pounds. We're going to do it in a star or crisscross pattern. Just double check. When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.